Picture this. A dazzling woman walks into a room, cameras flashing, the world captivated by her beauty. Every head turns, every eye watches. Yet, behind those luminous eyes lies a mind that could outthink any engineer of her time. A mind plotting inventions that would eventually shape the way the world communicates. This is the story of Hedy Lamarr, Hollywood's most glamorous star and perhaps the most unlikely inventor the world has ever seen. Stay with me, because this is a story of beauty, brains, and a life that defied expectation at every turn. Hedy Lamarr was born Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler on November 9, 1914, in Vienna, Austria. She grew up in a world of culture and refinement, the only child of a well-to-do banker father and a talented pianist mother. Vienna, in the early 20th century, was a place of music, art, and intellectual conversation. Hedwig absorbed it all, developing an early fascination not just with the arts, but with how things worked. Her father, recognizing her curiosity, would often explain mechanical devices to her, encouraging her to question the world around her. From a young age, she demonstrated a restless intelligence, a desire to understand the mechanisms of life, even as she moved effortlessly in the world of music and dance. At 16, she left formal schooling behind and began her journey into the world of film in Europe. She was striking, a vision of beauty, and her talent soon began to draw attention. Her breakout role came with the 1933 Czech film Ecstasy, a movie that stirred controversy due to its daring content, but also catapulted her into international fame. Suddenly, Hedwig Kiesler was no longer just a girl from Vienna, she was a sensation. Yet fame in Europe was complicated, especially for a woman whose brilliance extended far beyond acting. Hedy's personal life added layers of complexity. She married at a young age to Friedrich Mondl, a wealthy munitions manufacturer. Mondl was controlling and possessive, a man whose obsession with the military and weaponry would later influence Hedy's own interests in technology. Though outwardly glamorous, her marriage was stifling, a gilded cage that would ultimately drive her to make one of the boldest decisions of her life. In an era when women had little freedom, Hedy Lamarr chose independence, fleeing her husband in Europe itself as the shadows of war loomed over the continent. She made her way through Paris and London and eventually to the United States, seeking not only a new life, but a place where her talents could flourish. Hollywood beckoned, and in 1938 she made her American film debut in Algiers. The world gasped at her beauty, and the industry quickly labeled her the most beautiful woman in the world. Studios adored her, audiences adored her, yet the scripts often reduced her to a mere ornament, a dazzling face with little depth. But Hedy Lamarr was not content to be admired from afar. She wanted to create, to invent, to challenge the boundaries of possibility. During the late 1930s and early 1940s, as World War II raged across Europe, Hedy Lamarr's attention turned to the war effort. She was acutely aware of the devastation occurring overseas and wanted to contribute beyond her Hollywood screen persona. She remembered her first husband's world, military contracts, weapons, and intelligence, and it sparked an idea. How could technology help the Allies? How could she leverage her understanding, her intellect, to make a tangible difference in a time of global crisis? One evening, over dinner with her friend George Antel, a composer known for his avant-garde music, Hedy shared a revolutionary idea. What if torpedoes could be guided by radio signals that constantly hopped from frequency to frequency, rendering them impossible to jam or intercept? The concept was simple yet ingenious, blending her understanding of mechanics with Antel's experience in synchronized systems, akin to a player piano's mechanism. Together, they sketched out the details, developing a secret communication system designed to thwart enemy interference. Their work led to a patent in 1942. Though the U.S. Navy didn't immediately adopt the invention, the concept would later become foundational for the wireless technology we rely on today: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS. Meanwhile, Hedy's Hollywood career continued to rise. She starred in films like Samson and Delilah, captivating audiences worldwide. Yet she never lost sight of the fact that her intellect was as significant as her beauty. She grew frustrated with the limitations Hollywood imposed on her, the narrow roles that reduced her to a pretty face. She wanted autonomy, creative control, and a chance to be recognized for her mind. In response, she formed her own production company in the mid-1940s, a daring move in an industry that often sidelined women, especially those whose ambitions extended beyond acting. After the war, Hedy's genius slowly gained recognition. She became a U.S. citizen in 1953 and continued to innovate, though much of her work remained largely unacknowledged in her lifetime. Beyond frequency hopping, she experimented with other inventions, from improved traffic signal designs to a tablet that dissolved into a carbonated drink. She once remarked, "Brains and beauty aren't mutually exclusive." And her life was proof of that statement. Despite the glamour and fame, her curiosity, her mind, and her resilience defined her as much as her looks did. Hedy's personal life was tumultuous. She had 6 marriages, each with its own challenges, and she faced legal battles over her autobiography, which she claimed she had not authorized. Yet through these trials, she remained unapologetically herself, audacious, brilliant, and determined. She embodied a paradox, the glamorous Hollywood star who could also conceptualize complex technological systems, the woman whose face graced magazine covers who quietly shaped the future of communication. By the time she passed away on January 19, 2000, in Castleberry, Florida, at the age of 85, the world had only begun to fully appreciate the scope of her contributions. Posthumously, Hedy Lamarr received numerous accolades for her work in technology, including induction into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Today, every time you connect to Wi-Fi, use Bluetooth, or rely on GPS, you are benefiting from the ingenuity of a woman once celebrated mainly for her beauty. What can we learn from Hedy Lamarr? First, never underestimate a mind behind a glamorous facade. Second, curiosity is a powerful force. Asking why can change the world. Third, creativity does not live in silos. Art and science, imagination and logic can combine to create something extraordinary. And finally, resilience matters. Even when recognition is delayed, perseverance and innovation leave an indelible mark. Hedy Lamarr's life reminds us that brilliance can appear in the most unexpected places, that a woman celebrated for her glamour could simultaneously be a technological visionary, that courage, intellect, and audacity can coexist in ways that astonish generations. Her story is a testament to the idea that the greatest contributions often come from those who refuse to be confined, who dared to imagine, and who persist in the face of skepticism and limitation. So, next time you sit down with your laptop, your phone, or your wireless headphones, remember Hedy Lamarr, the woman who walked red carpets, captivated the world with her beauty, and quietly revolutionized the way we communicate. Her legacy is invisible, yet omnipresent, like the waves she once dreamed of sending across the world. She stood still for no one, not even history, and in doing so, she ensured that her genius would echo far beyond the silver screen.